Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the Film Threat Livecast. Today we're talking Wonderman, early reaction, non-spoiler review. I have seen all 8 episodes. We will discuss it, give you the broad strokes, plus lots of movie news, including looks at a look at a trailer no one has reacted to, and it's been out for a month. I'm really shocked. Plus reviews of movies such as Mercy, The Rip, Arco, Disney Handcrafted, which I saw in a theater, and a lot more, and a filmmaker interview. Let's get Alan out here because I know. Let's get him.
I've been looking for you myself. Alan.
There
Hey.
you are.
My brain is fried.
Why is your brain fried? You saw a lot of.
I saw 5 movies yesterday and 6 episodes of Wonderman.
Oh my god. Okay, well I've seen all of Wonder Man, and we'll talk about it. But we've got a lot of news, and I've got some surprises today. But let's say hi to everybody in the chat, and thank you for joining us on Friday morning here. Morning for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, from the Lone Wolf Cub. They're late. This is a scandal. Let's just say one
We're
of them.
never. Well, yes, one of us meaning me, but we're not that late. No more than 5 in the window. We figure you get a little notification, we're here, tune in, and we kind of stall because we want people to gather in, join the party. So we're never too late unless
All right,
something's
Uncle
going
Jimmy
on.
Jam.
That's rare.
Good afternoon / morning, everyone.
Good morning
Good
and
morning
afternoon to you. I'm on my second cup of coffee. I'm feeling good.
Although,
Oh my God.
I'm on my 8th cup of coffee.
My cups of coffee keep going up. I was a 2 cup a day guy. Then I was a 3 cup a day guy. Now I'm a 4 cup a day guy. I might be moving up. And then I'll have a cup of like half calf or decaf. I love coffee. I love the taste. Love everything about coffee. I love different flavors of coffee. I like coffee flavored coffee, but I also I got it. My secret is I go to TJ Maxx or Ross, and they have coffee that might be close to the expiration date. And I bought 3 bags of Dubai chocolate coffee. It's glorious. If you've had this thing that's branded Dubai coffee, it's pistachio kind of it's with chocolate. It's so good.
And Lord Thought says like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram, and buy our merch at shop.filmthreat.com. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe too. And check out, we have our Film Threat is for Lovers collection, which I'm so proud of this. Atomic Glory really outdid herself here. Valentine's Day is coming up, and you gotta get something. You gotta get something for your partner, your girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife, and this is what they want. This is our intern Lily. She's modeling this. So definitely go to shop.filmthreat.com for all your. If you want to not be naked on Valentine's Day, then get a shirt where you'll have clothes on. Right, Alan?
Yep. Put that clothes on.
And thank you, Lord Thoth. Hey, I love the AMC Burbank 16. It is one of the most profitable theaters in America. It's in the heart of the industry in Burbank, California. There's this great bronze Batman statue 7 feet high in the courtyard. There's Yard House there where we gather before screenings. And I could not believe it. Around the corner from that courtyard, I saw a giant mural for the Melania documentary in the heart of Burbank, right here outside right outside the AMC Burbank 16 it's on the right. You'll see like over here on the right, but this mural is right here. No one really sort of paying attention to it. There it is. And this documentary about Melania Trump is opening in theaters January 30th. I'm sure we'll have a review. I saw the trailer in a theater, didn't even know the trailer has been out on YouTube for a month now. What
No
do you
one's
think
talking about it?
look, Alan, what do you think the reaction to this trailer is?
Overwhelmingly awesome. I want to see, I want to compare it to the Dr. Jill documentary.
Well, this trailer is actually about, it follows Melania leading up to the inauguration. It follows like all the planning, choices she makes. It's kind of an inside look at like what goes into putting on a really huge event. I'm going to show you the trailer, and then I'll tell you how people who watched this at AMC Burbank, which I saw this trailer
Did
on
you video
Monday.
it, by the way?
No, I did. I should have. I didn't know it was coming. But let's watch this trailer, and I'll tell you how people in Burbank reacted to it. Here we go.
Here we go again.
Oh, Amazon.
You can come in. Good morning. My proudest legacy will be that of peacemaker.
Peacemaker under the fire. Beautiful. Together with like-minded leaders, we have a voice. Is it safe?
It is safe.
Everyone wants to know. So here it is. Hi, Mr. President. Congratulations.
Did you watch it?
I did not. Yeah, I will see it on the news.
It's gonna be in theaters.
I know.
This-
See, Amazon puts stuff on in theaters.
Well, Amazon/MGM, with the Amazon owns MGM. The reaction was people booing. People, this was on Monday. Mercy was the unseen screen movie at AMC Burbank and all over. And the reaction to this trailer was not everybody booed. Not everybody booed, but there was like people boo, boo.
Oh.
So
For an immigrant.
Right. Well, I love, now it played before Mercy, which is being released by Amazon/MGM, right?
Yeah.
So this was the last trailer they showed before the film. I'm curious, and look, I'm sure it's not political. It's really just what goes into the planning of an inauguration, and how is the first lady involved? I miss seeing movies like this where you kind of feel patriotic or proud of our country, like what we're capable of as a people. I hope it's, I don't know. Look, she's objectively a very beautiful woman. She seems really smart. And the fact that she's, stood strong against all the slings and arrows thrown, not only her husband's way, but her way, I think she's admirable. So we'll see this movie. Alan and I will see this and review it. Alan, what is your take?
My take is we will see this movie and we will be the only ones on Rotten Tomatoes who reviews it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm interested. I don't know that I want to or I need a Melania documentary.
Right.
Like I said, I want a Dr. Jill documentary, a Michelle documentary, maybe a Barbara documentary.
Barbara Bush.
Yeah.
No,
it's weird because I think of the first ladies of the last 2 decades. Melania is definitely the more glamorous of them all, which I think makes this a much more different and interesting documentary than you would have if it were Dr. Jill or Michelle or even Barbara.
Look, you're right. We'll be one of the only outlets. Look, we're not a politically aligned media outlet. We are politically agnostic. I mean, I consider myself a liberal from the 90s, which some might call by another name today, maybe a slur. But I'll just say that I think it's important that you review films that could be considered on one side of the aisle or the other. I think it's disappointing, our polarized media. And this, if people accuse this of being propaganda, I will retort back. This is no more or less propaganda than the news. So there you go.
I mean, we cover everything. You know what? We're only supposed to cover one side. Why not cover both sides? You know, get a broader picture of issues so you can make an informed choice.
I mean, I follow a lot of people on social media, and you would never guess my politics from the people I cover, because I follow people all over the map. I want a lot of perspectives, and make of that what you will. But we will have a review of this film.
Like, is Melania going to be the propaganda film we think it's going to? People will believe it's going to be? No, it's going to be about the inauguration and all the choices she makes. Low stakes.
Hey, Masters of the Universe is coming. I think in this modern age of taking, like, franchises and rebooting them, I think a lot of people are skittish about what a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie would be being made today. We've got the trailer here. Let me cue it up, and let's take a look. I have some thoughts, because there is a controversy over something that is glimpsed briefly in the trailer, but I have information about that. Let's watch it.
All that stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories. Talking tigers, spaceships, and magic swords that can make a man as mighty as a god. Where I come from, that stuff is real. Why did you send me away?
I wanted you to be safe. So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you. There's...
This obsession with nerd stuff and sword things, it's not a good look for human resources.
I know it sounds crazy, but that sword is gonna show me the way home.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry. The sword's mine.
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
What am I supposed to do? Take the sword. You protect them.
I have the power!
All right, coming June 5th. I gotta say, I was never a He-Man fan. It just I was
We're
not
too old.
I was not at the age when He-Man came out that I would have been the target demo. So it just missed me. But of course I'm aware of it, and it's it's in culture, and I'd seen episodes, but this looks like a lot of fun. It looks a lot like Flash Gordon, Flash Gordon, Earthbound, goes to a fantastical place. Mongo defeats Ming the Merciless, the big authoritarian dictator that keeps the kingdoms of Mongo fighting amongst each other. This looks very Flash Gordon. I'm told in tone, it's a lot like the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which was a lot of fun. There is controversy over that joke, the he-him joke, and the woman in human resources. I'm told it's completely played as a joke. It's mocking the fact that he's in a dead-end job in the HR department, and he's like a nerd obsessed with swords and all this, kind of related to his background. I think it's fun. It's light. The he-him, I mean, he is he-man, right? So the he-him thing is just, it's played for a goof. And the fact that you can even make a joke about pronouns, it's clearly a joke. And then the black woman who's in human resources kind of, lecturing him. It's, there's going to be a comeuppance. They're going to be mocked for being, it's going to mock DEI. And I saw something from Mr. H reviews on X, and he confirmed that it's completely a joke.
The fact that we have to announce that it's a joke just tells you where we are as a society.
Right. Well, people are being triggered by that pronouns are being played for a joke. It's like, yeah, they are, because it's going away. I mean, I can't tell you how many people that outside of the Film Threat organization that we email with, filmmakers and publicists and whatnot, that in the sign off at the end of the email, everyone has a sign off. Everyone at Film Threat has a sign off. We never put pronouns in the sign off. We just never did it. Here's my name, my title, the address. You can click and go to links and all that. We never did that. But a lot of people who did email us from outside of Film Threat, you would see their pronouns in the little email sign off. That's kind of disappeared. I'll see it every once in a while, but most people have, look, it's obvious.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. Film Threat is 95% male. And it's not like we're excluding women, but they're just not coming to us to want to write for us.
Yeah, almost 9 times out of 10, if someone approaches us about, I'd like to write for Film Threat, they're a dude, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Here's something I posted yesterday.
Please.
Let's be real. This is an example of people who originally planned not to see this movie, finding reasons not to see a movie they never planned to see.
You've always, all of your posts on X come off as a riddle or something I'd find in a fortune cookie. I wonder why that is. I love it. Follow my pal L.
Yeah, my
on
pal
X.
L. I'm almost at 12,000 followers.
Get Alan to 12,000. I can't wait to see it. If it's anything like that Dungeons and Dragons movie, I had a good time seeing that movie. I mean, it was like, all right, that was fun. I you know what? I want to see a fun adventure.
Okay, so I'll give you two reactions to it. One is this movie should have been 100% practical. The CG just looks horrible. It looks CG. I feel like you could have spent the money on making miniatures instead of having to CG the entire thing. You would have put a lot of people to work. And again, I think you would have saved money. Second thing is, remember when steroids was a thing? I'm just saying, lead actor could have done a few injections, and that's the one that'll get clipped.
Well, it's look, I want a fun movie. I want a fun adventure. It looks like a movie I would have seen, say, back in the 80s or 90s.
I'm just saying, if it was made in the 80s and 90s, it would look a million times cooler than it does right now.
But also, you're right about, I think people are done with CGI. The CG effects, and I'll tell you why, it's a sameness about it. There's a sameness about the CG effects. They could have done everything stop motion. It would have added a style to everything. So yeah,
not just the sameness, but it looks flat.
Yeah,
compared to if it was a model.
And I think people are tired. I think if they did all the effects in stop motion, it would add a uniqueness that we haven't seen. So, hey, more news stories here. Alan, you know that Godzilla Minus Zero is coming to theaters November 6th of this year. On my calendar, it's the same team who made Godzilla Minus One, is making Godzilla Minus Zero. I'm really impressed. We're getting a sequel so quickly. We really don't know much about it except that it might be set in the 60s, early 60s. And it's going to feature other monsters from the Toho Godzilla universe. And I don't know if this is, I'm a big Godzilla fan. I have purchased way too many things related to Godzilla. I recently purchased, you won't believe it, Alan, here, a Godzilla. I have the box for it here. A hammer that's shaped like Godzilla's foot. Now, of course, I need a hammer to do household repairs and whatnot. Does it need to be a Godzilla hammer? No, but I have one. And PBR has released Pabst Blue Ribbon. Make of that what you will. Released a 99 pack of PBR with characters. You've got Mothra, King Ghidorah, Rodan on the pack of PBR. I have one of the cans here. I have not purchased this yet. It's a giant can. It's a giant case. It's filled with 99 beers, and it cost $99.99. So for $100, you get this giant thing of beer. And look, I've got one of them here because I bought a 24 pack actually. So I bought this 24 pack, and here is Godzilla on this. I don't know. I love this idea. I mean, unfortunately for me, I really don't drink beer all that much anymore. I just don't. But man, I love this idea of a 99 pack of, look, here it is on a step ladder here, a step stool. And then check this out. This is what it looks like in the store. It's really tall for $99.99.
That's very good.
Yeah. And there's other Godzilla 24 packs. I know you're not a drinker, Alan, but that looks, I am very tempted. To get this and then maybe have like a Godzilla Minus Zero party.
Yeah, Godzilla Minus Zero Super Bowl party.
Yes, I could do that. But I just want to make people aware. Like, I know we have people watch the show that are collectors. This is from Brew Public, and I think it's amazing they're doing this promotion. So for $100, you get 100 beers with Godzilla's face on it. You remember when I was a kid, we used to collect beer cans. We used to collect cans, and more recently, and you'd have people with a beer can collection. Oh, this is unique. This is this. Do you remember when Star Wars Episode 1 came out? Pepsi released all sorts of different cans of their beverages with characters from Star Wars Episode 1. So there are can collectors out there. So, and in anticipation for Godzilla Minus Zero, which is along with Dune Part 3, like on top of my list of most anticipated movies for the year, I'm really tempted to get this and then have a party.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, the Galactus popcorn bucket costs us $85.
So this is a little bit more than that, but you can share it with many of your friends.
You are going to have to open it up.
You're going to have to open it at some point. I don't know how that, I mean, if I get that, I'll probably put it in the corner right there. There you go. Anyways,
it'll fall down and destroy your entire set.
Just wanted to make you aware.
Yeah.
Hey, we talked about the Oscar nominations, but I got a lot of analysis from people, and I was watching Grace Randolph, and tell me what you notice about her analysis of the Best Supporting Actress category. I'm just going to play this. I'm not going to comment. I just want to see what you notice, Alan.
Best Supporting Actress. All right, so Wunmi Musaku is the big surprise here. Ariana Grande would have gone in that spot. So I'm very happy for Wunmi Musaku, who was very good in the movie. A much more dramatic performance. You know, what happens to her character is a lot more devastating. I think Wunmi Musaku is in here for the same reasons that Kate Hudson's in her category. So that's good. I do wonder, you know, Tiana Taylor, does this hurt Tiana Taylor's chances? Well, they split the vote. Same movie. That's a very interesting problem, you know?
Same movie.
Tiana
movie. Taylor, wait a sec. Tiana Taylor, same movie. Sinners and Wunmi Musaku, except it's not. Tiana Taylor is in one battle after another, and Grace mixes it up because why do you think, Alan? Why do you think?
Because I think African American Black people and Asians have something in common.
Well, she thinks Tiana Taylor is in Sinners. She's in one battle after another. Wait do you see what happens when her chat informs her of the mistake?
Oh, that could be something that maybe wouldn't be expected. I would also say that I think it's interesting that Tiana gave a really great speech about the power of Black women and being celebrated. And I wonder if that affected Wunmi Musaku's votes as well. That could be very interesting. But let's see what happens. Oh, not the same movie. Oh, you're right. Sorry. It's Sinners. Yeah, you're right. One battle after another in Sinners. But I do wonder if they're going to undercut it.
That was it.
She thinks that Tiana Taylor, because she's Black, was in Sinners.
That was it.
Make of that what you will. Yeah, make of that what you will, Alan.
Okay. She made a mistake. I'm gonna leave it at that.
She made a mistake. It's fine.
People do that because you know most people are not like us, where we make zero mistakes.
Well, we do make mistakes. I just think she does harp a lot on race on her show, and are people going to like this? Or she will dislike something because she claims it's not diverse enough.
This is why she didn't like Song Sung Blue.
Exactly. She did not like that movie. But yeah, what were you going to say?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll challenge the point of, you know, did Tiana Taylor's speech at the Golden Globe influence Wunmi Musaku's nomination for the Oscars? And I will say that no, I'm pretty sure Tiana Taylor's speech came after Oscar nominations were submitted.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is, you know, look, I get it. We would like to embody diversity.
Right.
But again, don't force it. Diversity will happen. You know, it's organic. For example, why no Asians were nominated for anything except K-pop Demon Hunter?
Well, no, I mean, you've got Wunmi Musaku for Sinners.
Yeah.
Look, you got in there, but let's continue the Oscar conversation. The Oscar noms reflect the Academy becoming a citizen of the world. I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. Alan, you have the notes for the story. This is from the Hollywood Reporter, and it's very much. Well, give me the notes, and then I'll tell you my take.
All right. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences is moving in a markedly international direction, even as U.S. political leadership emphasizes an America First outlook. This year's Oscar nominations are among the most globally inclusive in the Academy's 98-year history. Is that really true? With feature films primarily in languages other than English receiving a total 22 nominations. That figure ties records set in 2023 and 2024, with recognition spread across a wide range of international titles led by Sentimental Value and The Secret Agent. For only the second time, at least one non-English language film appears in every Oscar category. Two such films were nominated for Best Picture, continuing the 8-year streak in which Academy top prizes include at least one international contender. Acting categories also reached historic milestones, with 4 of the 20 nominations going to performances in non-English language films, the highest proportion ever. Notably, Stellan Skarsgård became the first actor nominated in a supporting actor category for a non-English language performance. This surge in international recognition reflects Academy's deliberate diversification since the Oscar So White controversy. For the past decade, the organization expanded its membership to include more women, people of color, and crucially, members based outside the United States. Today, roughly a quarter of the Academy's voters live abroad, making them more comfortable with subtitled films and less inclined to favor English language productions by default. The changing makeup of the Academy has also weakened the predictive power of traditional Oscar precursors. Major Guild Awards, whose voters are overwhelmingly US based, largely ignored non English language films and performances this year. BAFTA offers insight into European tastes, but uses weighted voting systems that differ than the Academy's process, limiting its usefulness as a direct indicator. Critics' Choice and Golden Globes are similarly imperfect predictors because they voted by journalists rather than filmmakers, and journalists make up virtually none of the Academy's memberships. While the Golden Globes may have some influence this year due to timing, their broader conclusion is clear. No single precursor award body now reliably reflects Academy's increasingly international preferences.
I have a problem with this. This is the reason that the Oscars are becoming less relevant. Now, I applaud there is a category in the Oscars called Best International Film. If your movie has subtitles, put it in international film. If it's in another language, put it in international film. I love foreign films. Or they call them world. They call them, you can't call them foreign films anymore. That's what they were called for years. Now they're called world cinema or something polite like that. But as far as I'm concerned, movies like that deserve recognition. Great. And the movie that wins the Oscar or is eligible for Best Picture should be an American movie, because we are fast losing our identity. There are hardly any films you could say this is a very much an American movie. There used to be films like that. The movie with Kevin Costner, which won Best Picture, Dances with Wolves, is very American. It's a sort of a twist on American history. It's a Western set at the end of the Civil War. There's so much about the movie Dances with Wolves that is American. Only an American could make that movie in America. And we need to get back to that. And we are fast losing a national identity that we can all be proud of. And let me give you an example. Other countries have their own version equivalent of the Oscars. In the UK and England, they have the BAFTAs. In France, they have the César Awards. In Spain, they have the Goya Awards. In Italy, they have the David D. Donatello Awards, named after, of course, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. There are other countries have their own awards. In Germany, they have the Deutscher Filmpreis or the Lolas. In Canada, they have the Canada Screen Awards. You know what's eligible for the Canada Screen Awards? Canadian movies. No American movie is eligible for an award for the Canadian Screen Awards. In Japan, they have the Japan Academy Film Prize. In India, they have the National Film Awards. In China, they have the Golden Rooster Awards. In South Korea, they have the Grand Bell Awards. In Mexico, they have the Ariel Awards. Ariel, probably named after the character from The Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, yes.
In Australia, they have the ACTA Awards, which is the Australian Academy of Cinema and Television Arts. And in Europe, which is kind of a regional, they do the European Film Awards. The Oscar nominees for Best Pictures should be American movies, full stop. It is so important we acknowledge ourselves and we support American filmmakers telling stories that speak to Americans. We used to do that. And I think this is a horrible mistake that is making the Oscars more and more irrelevant and diluting it to the point where I saw multiple posts about what the heck are, no one's seen these movies. No one has seen most of these movies. No one has seen Secret Agent. No matter, and look, that movie should win for Best International Film. That's great. But Best Picture should be reserved for American movies. Alan, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are you are 100% wrong on this.
Really?
The Oscars, look, first of all, let me address the other countries. Well, this is America, goddammit. You know, we are better than other countries. And the reality is we're not filming movies in America anymore. So right off the bat, no movie would ever be nominated for Best Picture because no one's shooting in America. The other thing is, you know, to me, the Academy Awards is Best Picture. It's best, meaning to me, it's the pictures and movies that we saw in our theaters here in America. And that list, you know, maybe they were out for a week or two, but they were shown in America. You know, the other thing is, you know, a lot of American films that you would call American films shot by people from Europe, starring people from Europe. You know, Australia, shot by Australians, starring Australians. But you know, I think we're conflating this idea of America versus English language movies. Because I think, and then, okay, you know, I think we're confusing the fact that because, you know, we'll nominate a British film because it's English language, more accessible to Americans. The other thing is, and this is a really good point, which I'm trying to remember. This to look at this year and say that there are few American movies on there. Yeah, guess what? There weren't a lot of movies coming out this year. You know, the fact that they point out here that for the last 8 years, international films have been, at least one has been in the Best Picture nomination. Well, there's 10 movies they have to pick from. So yeah, an international film slips in. This year, look, we're only talking about 2 movies this year: Sinners and One Battle After Another. F1 you could throw in there, but I hate to break it to you, F1 was barely filmed in America.
True.
So it's kind of like I just wanted to be clean and pure and just say, if American audiences could have seen your movie in our theaters this year, you are eligible for nomination, and then let the best film win.
Well, it's going to affect the ratings.
Sure.
I'm going to ask you directly. Let me ask you directly.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie Sentimental Value?
No.
It's nominated in multiple categories.
It's a
At
European
the Golden
film.
Globes, Stellan Skarsgård won Best Actor. It's nominated for Best Picture. It is your job, and I'm only pointing this out. It's your job to see the movies, and even you didn't see this.
Yeah, but it
Swedish
wasn't
film.
nominated at CCA for Best Picture. It was Best International, which
you probably should have seen it.
Yeah, but the
And
thing
what I'm
is,
saying
but
I
the
don't
point,
blame
hold
you
on,
for not
you're
seeing
making
it.
the real. I mean, think about it. Sentimental Value. It's a European film starring nothing but white people. I mean, that's diversity. That's diversity.
Look, I saw it. It's way overrated. It's super depressing. It's not gonna resonate with people. That a lot of the material is not necessarily objectionable. It's just it's a small family story that's super depressing, and I don't think it's gonna resonate with people. It's not like a hopeful or uplifting thing necessarily. I guess you could argue it is. I would say no, but I mean, I don't know, Alan. That's my take on it. And I would just like to see filmmakers rewarded for making movies that actually make us feel proud of this country and what we've accomplished.
Yeah. I'll just end by saying most American movies are not made in America. They're made in
You're not
Romania. They're made in Canada.
well. You're not wrong about that, and I
Yeah.
can't argue with
And
you.
and to blame the Oscars, yes, Oscar numbers will be down, and again, theaters are down. It's Hollywood's fault because they're not producing good movies. There doesn't look more American films in the top picture category. What films? What films are we going to put in there that is going to move the needle?
Well, those movies don't even get recognition, but
and now they do. I mean, that's the one thing the Oscars does. It gives movies that need recognition, even though Song Sung Blue only got
Song Sung Blue should have been nominated for Best Picture.
It should have been,
and kicked out Sentimental Value. It's a wholly American movie about working class blue collar people. Song Sung Blue should have been Best Picture. Hugh Jackman, Best Actor. In another time, it would have been. It's a very American story about you going for your dream, rolling up your sleeves, doing hard work, trying to make a living, and not giving up on your dreams. That's an American story. The fact that Song Sung Blue isn't even nominated for Best Picture when there are 10 nominees, it's shameful. Yeah. And it's why the Oscars will continue to become less relevant and less viewed and less culturally significant event.
Yeah. Ironically, the most American movie on that list is Sinners.
True. One last news story before we go to reviews today, and we have a lot. Are movie theaters cool again? I mean, I hope so. I would like to think that movie theaters are cool again. Alan, you've got the story here. This story is from I believe it's Vox. Yeah, Vox. Are movie theaters cool again? Gen Z's hottest club might just be the multiplex. And I actually have a theory about this, but Alan, give me just the broad strokes of the story. I want to get into the topic.
Yes, young audiences are driving a quiet revival of movie going, even as streaming companies argue that theaters are becoming obsolete. Data shows that Gen Z theater attendance rose 25% last year, with a growing share visiting multiplexes 6 or 7 times annually. Gen Alpha appears to be even more enthusiastic, with a clear majority saying they prefer watching movies on the big screen rather than at home, outpacing both millennials and Gen Z in their stated enjoyment of theatrical experiences. For younger generations, streaming lacks novelty. Having grown up with smartphones and on-demand media, convenience alone is not a compelling draw. Instead, theaters offer something streaming cannot: a deliberate, shared offline experience. In a digital environment saturated with short-form content, AI-generated media, and constant multitasking, sitting in a dark room and focusing on a single story has been culturally meaningful. The moviegoer's experience itself has evolved into a premium outing. Theaters have leaned into luxury upgrades such as reclining seats, in-seat food and drink service, exclusive merchandise, and loyalty programs. These features, once seen as gimmicks, are proving effective with Gen Z, many of whom cite comfort and dining options as major reasons why they chose to attend screenings in person. Social media has also reshaped theater culture rather than replacing it. Platforms like TikTok and Letterboxd have turned moviegoing into an interactive hobby, encouraging discussion, criticism, and fandom immediately after screening. Art house distributors such as A24, Neon, and Mubi have capitalized on this by marketing films with strong online identities, helping cultivate a new generation of cinephiles. At the same time, young audiences are showing growing fatigue with formulaic streaming content. Recent box office successes of original horror, international, and anime films suggest that compelling storytelling still motivates people to leave their homes, while the pending Netflix Warner Brothers deal may threaten traditional theatrical windows. The sustained enthusiasm among young moviegoers suggests that theaters may be headed not for extinction, but for a cultural resurgence driven by quality films and shared experiences.
I like the optimism of this article, and I'll tell you why. Gen Z doesn't drink alcohol. Alcohol sales are plummeting everywhere. it's and not only that, partially because I don't think Gen Z's just not into drinking, just not, didn't grow up with that, whatever, fine. And also alcohol is expensive. A cocktail in California is $15 on a minimum, $20 a lot of places. They don't go to clubs, dance clubs. So the types of activities that young people would have engaged in are prohibitively expensive, and they've lost interest in things like alcohol. A movie theater kind of fits, like, it's captured your attention. And look, you see people on their phones in the theater. It's usually someone below a certain age, right? They just can't stop looking at their phones. Fine. But I think really it's, you can put your whole focus on this thing. It actually helps with focus. And look, I'm as guilty. If I watch a film at home as opposed to the theater, if I'm at home, I am likely to reach for my phone if the thing doesn't grab my attention. I prefer to see a movie, the slow burn of a movie in a theater. I could not have lasted with Train Dreams if I saw it on Netflix where it is now. It was much better.
Or Hamnet.
Or Hamnet. In a theater, I preferred both of those movies. They were made to watch in a theater. So I like this. I like going back to an analog lifestyle. There are more and more articles I've seen pop up. Obviously vinyl did not go away because of, CDs and MP3s. So there is a sort of like, get back to basics. And I like this. So it gives me hope. I mean, Elon Musk said recently in a speech, he said, I'd rather be optimistic and be right than be pessimistic and be wrong. Pessimistic and be right, or optimistic and then be wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If you're pessimistic and
I
right,
don't know, I agree with it,
that kind of sucks. Optimistic, well, just be optimistic and then be wrong. It's like, okay, fine. But there you go. Final thoughts, and we'll go to your comments.
Yeah, I think one thing that mentioned here was, rewards programs, popcorn buckets, things like that. It just shows that they've gamified movie going, which is very Gen Z, which is fine. It gets people in. The other thing is, one thing I don't think is mentioned in here is, I think the young folk, Gen Z, are more in tune with good storytelling these days than millennials. Because, and you can tell by the box office numbers, what movies succeed, what movies fail, what TV shows succeed, what TV shows fail. I think they are tired of the just droning on of internet content and just want a good story. Look, I have a daughter who is Gen Z. She complains all the time about stories, about how boring they are and how they say nothing. At one point, there was a time where she was just crying about the lack of romance in movies and television.
Yeah.
Her favorite TV show is Percy Jackson. And she read the books, and the people who produce that show, make that show, and star in that show are fans of the books, and they understand story. That's why anime does so well, because of its storytelling. It's just not flashing images solely on screen, which is what American films and TV show does. They just think that, if we just put action pieces together, Predator is the prime example. It's just one series of action pieces after another. And they think that young people just want to be, just want a roller coaster ride with no substance. And the reality is, no, kids want substance in their storytelling. And for some reason, Hollywood and society and culture just wants to avoid giving that to them. They don't want kids reading books, so they'll just give you chapters of a book to read. So this is good news if the bad people don't win out in the end.
Thanks for that commentary, Alan. I'm gonna have a signal that's like wrap up.
I mean, you go on for like 10 minutes.
I go on as long as I go on.
I speak half as long as you do.
This is gonna be a weird show.
I speak half as long as you do on these things.
Look, breaking news. the first teaser for Jason Momoa as Lobo has dropped. Let's take a look at this teaser. We just got it here. I haven't even watched it. It's only about 30 seconds. Let's take a look at this. It's from Discussing Film. So let me share it with you here. Here's the teaser. Let's watch it. Let's go. It says, there you go, on the door. It says Lobo.
That's the teaser.
Well, no, it's just the trailer.
All right.
It's Jason Momoa was walking out of the trailer. Let's crank the sound. Let's watch this 30-second clip.
You have any comments about playing Lobo? Finally.
Finally. Let's look at that. It's actually not bad. I mean, with his look is not bad. Here he is as Lobo. What do you think, Alan?
I mean, yeah, I'm again not a DC fan, so I have zero reference here. Yeah, good for them trying to create some excitement for a movie that really needs excitement built up before it comes out.
I'll just say, why does it look so freaking muddy like Guardians of the Galaxy? It looks like they took dirt and put it on screen. It looks like crap. I'm not talking about his makeup or his look. I'm talking about the way it's photographed.
Yeah,
it looks like
it's dark colors on dark colors.
Dark colors on dark colors and dark lighting. He's backlit. He's not like you can't. It's not. I hate this.
There's no sharpness.
This is what so many movies look like. This sort of brown. You're on a volume stage or some stage. It's brown and dark and.
Well, for people who don't know who Lobo is, we've seen this image many times.
Yeah, I'm. You know what? He looks good. The movie looks bad, and I'll just leave it there. And we're gonna have to mute the music because we always get hit with that stuff.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, they're relying. This is a star power trailer. You know, Jason Momoa is back. And he looks awesome. So that's the sell here.
It's not even a trailer, it's a tease. And if you thought there was a lot of social media promotion for Superman, get ready for Supergirl. Comments now, because we got a lot to get to on the show today.
I'll just say I hope the director of Supergirl does a lot of interviews.
I think James Gunn will. I think James Gunn,
the producer, will do a lot of interviews. Go ahead. Let's do this. Harry Brownhole for 2. Pratt's film Mercy looks like War of the Worlds 2. We'll get to that.
Yes.
Skeleton King for 2. How dare you non-biased? How dare you be non-biased? I need my propaganda. Yeah, we need to be told how to think. Mr. Bungley for 199. What the hell happened with No Other Choice Oscar snub? Oscar no yellow.
Yeah, join Alan and Simu Lu's campaign.
Nick Tomato for 2. Fallaway was shot here 400 meters from my apartment. Awesome.
Nice. That's awesome.
They don't film stuff here.
Hey,
Nick Tomato for 5. Literally give or take 400 meters from my apartment. It's a big old castle, really, really old castle. They shot Halo trailer or whatever. I saw it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Couple more. We got some more comments here.
Yeah, from Nick again for 2. Jason Momoa should have been Lobo from the start.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's go through. There's a lot of non-soup comments. We can't get to these right this moment. You know what we'll save it for the end of the show because there's some really funny comments here. So folks, we're going to save them for the end of the show because we got a lot to get to today. We're going to start with Wonderman. Alan, Wonderman is not a real widely known hero in the Marvel universe here. just not widely known. It stars Ben Kingsley as Trevor Slattery and Yahya Abdul Mateen II. He plays Wonderman, or he plays the actor who wants to be Wonderman.
He plays Simon Williams.
Simon Williams, yes. And I'll just describe the show. I believe you've been misled by the trailers for Wonderman. And I'll say right off the top, this is probably the best Disney Plus Marvel series, which admittedly the bar is low. And I'll tell you why, because it doesn't feel like a Disney Plus Marvel series. And one of the best parts about Wonderman and the Simon Williams character is it takes the subject matter seriously. Now, while there is a lot of humor in Wonderman, it's situational. It's not James Gunn. It's not James Gunn. It is completely devoid of that sort of quippy, I'm here to be funny, nothing matters. Humor, there's humor, but it's situational. And Simon Williams is a very sympathetic character. He is a very serious actor. We meet him in an opening scene. He's in an episode of American Horror Story, and he's having a conversation and kind of talking to the director saying, I think this is a better choice.
Yeah. He's gone uber method.
He's uber method and takes acting super seriously. And he wants to kind of change the script a little, which leads to him getting fired. He finds out about the opportunity through his agent about Wonderman and tries to get an audition. And it's the audition to get the audition in front of the director, who is Von Kovac, kind of a legendary film director, probably the Martin Scorsese of the Marvel Universe. He meets Trevor Slattery at this audition, strikes up a friendship. Trevor may have other motives. He's been recruited by Damage Control. An agent from Damage Control has Trevor Slattery has been let out of prison to go on a mission and be a tool of Damage Control. But Simon Williams doesn't know this. But they strike up a genuine friendship, and they're both kind of going for the role of Wonderman and Wonderman's sidekick. Wonderman is kind of, at least as portrayed in this movie, the movie in the story of Wonderman is this old movie that Simon Williams saw as a kid with his dad in a movie theater. Loved Wonderman. It was kind of like a Flash Gordon character. And
it's Wonderman.
It's Wonderman. So in any case, but the whole thing, it's a buddy movie with Trevor and Simon Williams that is really hysterical. And it's hysterical. There's other motives. And Joey Pantoliano is in this in a part that is hilarious, that pays off. They go to see him because they're trying to film an audition in a place that's quiet. And Trevor knows Joey Pantoliano, who plays himself in the movie, kind of a more asshole version. It's great. I would compare Wonderman to The Studio with Seth Rogen, which I love. I love The Studio. It's very inside baseball about how a movie studio and marketing departments make movies. This is inside baseball for actors. It's very LA. I don't even know if it was shot in LA, but a lot of the locations are like classic LA locations. And they do a really good job of like getting you to feel sympathy for Simon Williams, who's just it's kind of tragic. We learn he has these powers he can't control. Nothing's explained about it, but he has these powers he can't control. They come out when he's angry, which proves an issue, especially in cases where his girlfriend dumps him in the beginning and he has strife with his family at his mother's birthday party that Trevor tags along. And what the big issue is that Simon Williams has these powers. It's his dark secret. Okay. He's used these powers for nothing because he can't control them. He's not a superhero. But there's a rule. You cannot have superpowers and be in a movie or a TV show. You cannot work as an actor if you have superpowers. This is explained in an entire episode. We won't discuss it here. It's episode 4. That is hilarious as to why superpowered beings cannot be actors. It involves Josh Gad. Ding dong is all I'll say. That standalone episode is so good because it's so ridiculous. And this also with the show, I like the show did it in the end. And I won't talk about the ending. I think the ending is kind of goes on too long, kind of an extended epilogue that didn't need to be there. But so it kind of peters out. But this is really not connected to anything in the Marvel universe. There's virtually no connection there. And the references, there is one reference at a birthday party, his mother's birthday party, where someone asks about Captain America, but there's not any. I mean, I'm sure
the Mandarin, the references.
The Mandarin, obviously,
Mandarin, yeah.
But they're using the character, and he explains, "I was an actor. He's kind of a loser. He was an alcoholic and a drug addict, and he got sober." And it's the most serious non-Disney Plus Marvel TV show they've ever done, which is why I think it's the best. The ending is kind of a. It doesn't 100% stick the landing, but I'll say because they're dropping it in one day and the episodes are only 30 minutes, you can binge the whole thing in a day. And I really enjoyed it. So in the end, while I'll take that there are flaws, in particular, the ending, it moves at 30 minutes and I enjoyed it and I recommend it. And I'm surprised I'm telling you this. And it's not like She-Hulk where it started out like, oh, this could have potential and then got super. There's nothing woke about this. You can argue, you can debate. If you're hypersensitive to things that are woke, you can find stuff in there, I'm sure, but it's not super agenda driven. It's a story of a failed actor going for his dream. And it means, in the end, it means nothing. It doesn't advance the Marvel story. It doesn't it means nothing. It's a standalone series that could be like a sister series to the show, The Studio, which I quite enjoyed. That's my take. Alan, I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay. And I'll do it in less than half the time you took.
Yeah. Sorry, it took too long.
Yeah. So I am a fan of Wonderman. I read Wonderman when I was a kid. I do enjoy the character, and this has zero to do with that character whatsoever.
Right.
I will agree with you though that this is probably the best Marvel television that Disney Plus has put out, and the main reason is because it's not a Marvel television show.
Yes, it's like not a Marvel show.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry.
I'm just going to add time to mine. Half of what you. Okay. But the thing is, it's very smart that it's being all released at the one time, because I just don't think I would watch this series if I had to wait week after week. The tone of the movie, the pacing of the show is like Marin and Louis, where it's just kind of a guy who's trying to get a job, and we follow his little weird adventure going on there, and it's all fine. But the thing is, I have to always ask myself, why are we doing this? What is the point? This is not a superhero movie, even though he's a superhero. And ultimately, I guess the question is, would you buy this comic book? And no one would buy this comic book. What I appreciate about this show, which is created by Shang-Chi's Destin Daniel Cretton, who I happen to like. It's well done. In terms of the quality, you're not rolling your eyes or groaning like you do at Ironheart or Echo or anything like that. It's just this adventure between these two guys with a little bit of superheroism in the background. I will say regarding Josh Gad, there is 10 seconds of Josh Gad that is hilarious. To the point where I made my daughter come in and watch this scene, and she was just busting up. That is the best thing of this series, is this 10 seconds of Josh Gad. But you know, it's I just want to I do want a superhero. I want a good superhero movie. I want a good superhero television series. I just want a good one. And this one just does everything it can to avoid being a real superhero show. And so it's inconsequential. It's well produced. But why am I watching it? Why
that you are asking the right question. I think this is very well done. It's a story of a struggling actor set in the world of Marvel that has nothing to do with superheroes. It's not a superhero story. It's the story of an actor who wants to play a superhero who has superpowers, but he has literally not used his powers for anything good. That's the thing. He's kind of like, and he's so obsessed with his career. He has disappointed everyone in his life, his family, his brother in particular, his girlfriend who leaves him in the first episode. I mean, but in the end, I'll say, like I said, as a sister series to the studio, it really works. It's just, this show did not need to exist. It's not a Marvel. So if you go into it thinking, I love Marvel and superheroes, why am I watching this?
Yeah.
That's a legitimate question to ask.
Let me respond to your studio comment.
Please.
The studio at least is accessible to a wide audience.
Yeah.
This one feels like it's meant for struggling actors.
Yeah.
Which is a much smaller audience. You know, there are things in the studio that we as people who are not in Hollywood can relate to. This one is just, it's about a struggling actor, and all the references, you know, I think that anyone who is a struggling actor is going to resonate with this show. But you need a bigger audience than that.
I agree. So in the end, I actually strongly recommend it. I say it's here's what it did. It felt, for the first time, a Marvel Disney Plus show felt like a real TV show. What do I mean by that? I felt like with almost every Disney Plus Marvel show, I'd go like, oh, there's another episode. I really don't care what happens. Every episode of Wonderman ends on like, a holy what? I got to see what happens next. They figured out, and I feel like that whenever I watch a series made by HBO, they always end with like, something's coming, the end. And the music, the other thing is the needle drops for the music were really good choices. The music was great in the show for the pop music that would accompany. So it's like they finally figure out how to do television. Marvel finally figured out how to do television with a character and a story that really has no impact on the Marvel universe. So
yeah, I just can't go along with that. It's look, at best they made good television, but they didn't make a good superhero movie or superhero show, which it should have been. I mean, you could have done an actual Wonderman show. But they don't do that here. It's kind of like we're gonna, you know, it's like Lucasfilm doing Indiana Jones. Well, Lucasfilm is Star Wars, but they made Indiana Jones, but at least Indiana Jones was great. This one is, you know, we're saying it feels like you're recommending it because this is an exceptional Disney Plus show, which again isn't saying a whole lot. To me, it flies under the radar in terms of greatness. It's just not good enough for me to want to recommend it to someone. The best I could say about this is, if anything we said sounds interesting to you, then give it a shot. That's my recommendation.
I actually agree with your last statement. If it sounds interesting to you, if you liked The Studio with Seth Rogen, if you want to see someone struggle and go for their dream, check it out. If you don't watch this, you're literally not missing anything.
Yeah.
Seriously. And I say this as someone who liked it. If you skip it, you're not missing anything. There's very little to connect to anything Marvel. There are no cameos. I'll spoil that.
Well, except for Joey Pants and Josh Gad. And
yeah, but they play themselves.
I know.
Joey Pants and Josh Gad play themselves in the show, and actually in a hilarious way. So
yeah, it's nice that there are no Easter eggs, that they're not littering this whole thing with Easter eggs.
Well, there are gonna be Easter eggs. You know, there'll be a screen. Some YouTube channel will say, "Look at this and look at that." They're not anything that's significant.
Well, there's not going to be these. Well, in Endgame, be based on this scene. Tony Stark is gonna. There's none of that.
None of that. So I'm recommending it. Alan, you are.
I'm not.
So
I mean, I feel bad.
Make your own choice.
Yeah. Look. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die. Go see it. You need to see it. I wish I could say that about this, and I can't.
Let's go to comments about Wonderman. If we have any at the bottom. Here we go.
Okay. Nick Tomato for 5 again. Thank you for all the support here. He doesn't look awesome. It's the opposite. And that's the point of Lobo. He's a douche. And the movie is going to be crap. Probably, I don't know, 99% give or take.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for Supergirl. Thank you, Nick, for all the support.
Yeah, and again, I like James Gunn as a person, as a writer and director, but he's just not good for characters like Superman, Batman, Lobo, etc. He's not a DC guy, although he will tell you he is.
Yeah. Thank you.
Science 69. My 20-year-old is the same way, Alan. She was always a reader and is always upset by the lack of actual storytelling in film, especially movies created from novels and books. Yeah, interesting. Garth Knight returns. Chris and Alan need more romance in their lives. For two gay men living together, they are lacking romance.
True.
Yeah. Tom Siebert. I thought Alan's point was well taken and not overwrought, Chris.
What's wrong with that? Look.
No, you wanted me to wrap up, and I'm making these points. I'm using less than half the time you took.
Well, you're right. I agree.
All right. Nick again. Hey. I hope you're not going broke. Geez, he hired that chick who made Birds of Prey just for DEI. You want DEI? Hire the chick. Who made
the Penguin.
The Penguin. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, we have an interview that's gonna happen, and then we're gonna go back and review movies. I actually prefer to.
Want to do one slip one in since he's not here, or
yeah. Let's talk about The Rip. Alan, you saw The Rip. The Rip is on Netflix. It stars Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. It's written by Joe Carnahan. Alan, tell me the story of The Rip, such as it is.
So this is the one movie I didn't get notes for.
So when I asked you at the beginning of the show, do you have notes or do you have like the...
Yeah, I just didn't have it for The Rip.
Okay.
If you'd like,
why don't I'm going to read the comments while you prep for the show.
Well, I got all the other ones. I just don't have The Rip.
So when I asked you at the top of the show if you had all the notes or at least have the IMDb page, so you go, well,
the IMDb page doesn't give you the story. All it tells you is who the actor is.
No,
and what
you know what?
It's just this running theme that they have.
Well, I don't think Zootopia is Pixar.
It's not. It's a Disney. But it is. Racist, even though I guess, but it's the father who doesn't want her daughter. Yeah. You know what we could do is we could show up early before the show and then go over who's going to read the story for each movie.
I prepped the
rather than showing up 5 minutes late to the show.
Ololique, yep, Hollywood doesn't consider themselves American. I agree that Hollywood awards should be only about American movies. American films, and that foreign films should have their own category, if not their own awards. Yes, just they already do best international film. You don't need to leak movies from that category into another category. Aran Sherman, and we need less comments, Lori, today. We have too much shit to do. But Aran Sherman says it feels like Western countries are being told to give up their culture for the sake of globalism. Fuck yeah. I'm over it. I'm over it. Thank you. Dark Hierophant, they can't help themselves. They even make a passive aggressive stab at Trump. I am, for once, changing my pronouns on my signature to He-Man, says Alex Sanchez. Trump will return in Avengers Doomsday. Eleanor Roosevelt shows up in the end credits, setting up the First Lady cinematic universe. It's He-Man, you bigots, says I am become the destroyer of worlds, and thank you, Wes Reviews. A good documentary can make anything interesting. Thank you, Olalique. Mike MC Wong, Sentimental Values is excellent. It didn't work with Chris because he didn't have problems with parents or his kids. Really? You think I didn't have problems with? Isn't that sort of just the definition of family? I mean, it's the whole, if you're going to make an omelet, you're going to break some eggs. I think all families have their levels of problems, kind of how you deal with them. But for people who have family problems, it was excellent. It is a great movie. Mike, it didn't hit me the way it hit you. And Vin V2 says, of all the leftist companies, I would never have expected Amazon, one of the worst of woke companies, to debut this trailer. They didn't just debut the trailer. They made the movie and they're releasing it to theaters. Who do you think Jeff Bezos is trying to pander to? Off the top of your head, who do you think Jeff Bezos wants to be in good graces with, which is why he made the Melania movie? Who do you think? Alan, good guess.
Good guess. Barack Obama.
Wrong. Okay, should we just start with a different movie since you're not prepared, or you want to go with the rip? You feel good? Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, last week we talked about showing up 15 minutes before the show to go over these things. And
well, did you show up? Did you prep? Did you use that time? I prepped before.
No, we were supposed to meet as a team 15 minutes before the show rather than 5 minutes after the show start.
Do people like
go over these things
on the show?
With the most overproduced show on the internet?
Not overproduced, it's normal.
Yeah, we are. The fact that you're upset because I missed one of the 8 movies we're reviewing today.
We're not going to review all 8. We're going to bump.
I understand that, but the list has 8 movies on it, and I had notes for 7 of the 8 movies.
Alan, let's talk about The Rip. This film is on Netflix. It stars Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, directed by Joe Carnahan, who's done some tremendous work in the past. I think the story's pretty basic, but why don't you tell it to me?
So basic, you could have told it. The time it took me to research it. But anyways, so the story is about the Miami Tactical Narcotics Team led by Lieutenant Dane, played by Matt Damon, and Sergeant J.D. Byrne. Recently, their leader, Captain Jackie Velez, was murdered and still unsolved. They don't know who did it. So Lieutenant Dane gets word that there is a house that has a lot of money in it. And that there was a tip that came in, and that his team should check it out. That team includes Ro, played by Stephen Yeun, Detective Numa, played by Tiana Taylor, and then they go to this house, and Sasha Cali is there. They go in and they find out that it's not $150,000 like they thought. There's $20 million in this house. And once they realize how much money is in there, all hell breaks loose. Someone calls and says, "You better just take your 150, get out of there, or we're gonna come and kill everybody." And they stay just a bit too long, and let's just say the fireworks go off.
And I'll say this, it is pretty by the numbers, and you think there's going to be the biggest disappointment with the Rip. It's very well made, but the biggest disappointment is you think there's going to be a big twist, and there really isn't. It's kind of like, oh, that was it. That's the big twist. That's all. It was not a surprise, is what I'm saying. But what I'll say this, where it really does well is the tension. It's actually not the gunplay. The gunplay is kind of like, well, it's fine. It's the almost crazy paranoia when they're trying to suss out what the conflicting, who's on what side. There's a lot of money at stake here, 20 plus million. And those scenes of tension are fantastic. So look, I recommend. The one thing that's weird, the movie ends and there's 10 minutes of credits, which turned out to be, I thought it was a longer movie, like 2 hours. It's under 2 hours. It's like an hour 40. And then there's like 10 minutes of credits. And then it goes into trailers for other Netflix stuff. Very bizarre. So don't be deceived by the longer running time. But Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are fantastic. I've always loved Stephen Yeun. That guy. I love Stephen Yeun, my favorite character from Walking Dead. When they killed the character of Glenn, I was super bummed out. Love Glenn. But man, Stephen Yeun is great. And the fact that he like turned down being in a Marvel, he was supposed to be in, he was offered
Sentry. He was Sentry.
He was, yeah. He turned that part down. Guy's smart. Hold out for something better. Stephen Yeun, really underrated actor. I think is fantastic. But so really solid actors. The tension moments are great. It's just, it's kind of by the numbers. It's not Joe Carnahan's best film, but it's good for a Netflix movie. Frankly, I would have rather have seen this in a theater. But Alan, what did you think?
I think The Rip is perfect for Netflix, and I didn't need to see
yeah.
I mean, I'll agree with you. I saw The Rip last week. At least the first half. I woke up, couldn't fall asleep. I said, might as well watch The Rip, and I was actually into it. Part of the fun of this movie is once the money is discovered, and everyone is tempted, and the temptation is just that's what drama is. That's what the thriller nature of this stuff is. It's, would you take this money? No one's gonna know. Why not just take it? You're given an out. Look, just take the 150 and leave the rest. They all go through this whole, this is, boy, if I get underpaid and if I could just pocket some of this money, what would I do with it? If I choose to take it and no one else does, are they going to turn me in? What if one person decides that they're going to be upstanding and not take the money? Well, now what happens? These are all the questions that swirl in your mind as you're watching it. And because it's swirling in your mind, you're asking yourself, what would I do? That means that you're engaged in the story. And to me, that's what was happening in the first half of this movie. I was absolutely engaged, wondering what I would do. Then the ending. There is a big twist, and this big twist sounds like this. Wah wah.
Yeah, exactly. I felt the same way.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. I'll just say it just wraps up too neatly.
Yeah.
And I was just disappointed. I was just, I wish it ended differently. I'll just put it that way. And to me, what was an exciting, engaging movie now became of course they had to do it this way. And then it was thoughts of course, this is a Hollywood, a DEI Hollywood ending. Good job.
Well, I'll end with this. You know what's better than The Rip? All the interviews that Matt Damon and Ben Affleck have done. The Rogan interview was fantastic. other clips we've seen where they're promoting this movie is better than the movie. And what's telling is they don't talk a lot about this movie when they do these interviews. They talk about the industry and AI and production and
compensation
and how Hollywood works. The interviews they've done for this movie are better than the movie. And they don't talk about the movie. That tells you something. But in the end, I would still recommend it as a fun watch.
Yeah.
A little just lower your expectations.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the interview, the idea that the cast and crew will be compensated based on the success of the movie is brilliant. And then Netflix gave them this outrageous thing. Well, if your movie outpaces the number of subscribers we have, you're going to make this kind of money. And they were like, well, that could never happen. And then K-pop Demon Hunter happened.
Right. Well, just, you know what? Put this movie on a loop on your TV. Just play it so they get the views, just to help them out, because I want to see them do more. I want to see people who care as passionately about the industry and cinema as Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Joe Carnahan. I want to see them make more movies. So for that reason alone, it's worth seeing the rip. Let's go to your comments. We're limiting comments just because we have so many things to cover.
I wonder if he's showing up.
My apologies.
Oh, not here. Okay, never mind.
Okay, so let's go through these comments first.
Yeah. Nick Tomato for 5. Literally watch the Golden Globes. We watch the Golden Globes and the Oscars. We are laughing at them, not with them. Get real. They are a joke. Authenticity is the currency.
Yes, thanks, Nick. You're a big supporter. You are the #1 chat person today.
Okay,
we appreciate it.
Next to Pookie Malibu, sounds like Will Smith's Hancock, someone that can't use their powers correctly.
That's right. That's part of it.
Nick Tomato for 5. Actually, actors have better reputations if they don't have a Golden Globe or Oscar.
True.
Dark Knight Returns. The movie called The Rip sounds like it's revolves around flatulence.
Yes.
J Ham Stoneface. This stream is similar to watching Ralph and Alice.
Well, I'll just say this. Look,
to the moon.
I look forward to talking to Alan about movies. I love to hear what his opinion is. We don't always agree, of course. I think that's normal. And the one thing, if you watch the stream live, you get this, but the only clips we pull are of our reviews and any news stories we think that people might be interested in. But if you like Alan and I fighting, just tune into any live stream
and watch the commercials all the way through.
Yeah, make sure you watch all the commercials. So we have a lot more films to review, such as Mercy, Disney Handcrafted, among others. We will get to those reviews. But as we like to do, we like to interview independent filmmakers who are fiercely independent and support their movies. And we have, I'm going to butcher the name, Kabir McNeely. I probably got McNeely right. Kabir. Oh my God, I feel so bad. And unfortunately, I'm not familiar with your work, Mr. McNeely, but Alan is. Let's interview Mr. McNeely on the show. Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, good to talk to you. Yeah. So Kabir or
Kabir, yes.
See,
Kabir.
I got it.
Okay. Hey, thanks. As I was saying, Alan is very familiar with your movies. I am not. I'm going to let Alan take this one. But just to kick it off, how'd you get involved? You started making your movies at a very young age, and I wanted to ask you how you got started so young.
Yeah. First of all, how old are you now? And then when did, I guess, Lies We Tell come out?
So I'm 20.
Okay.
And what happened is I was not supposed to be in the arts at all. what happened, because I grew up in an immigrant family, and so, one of my dads is a doctor, the other's a lawyer, and they had really pushed me do to do well in my studies, to pursue sports. And what essentially happened, I was so bad at soccer. I did not score a single goal all season. And so my parents basically they said you have to learn to be a team player in some way. So go to theater camp. And I did not want to go. But I went and I fell in love. So that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, I mean, look, I appreciate the fact that you send us your movies and that we because in a way I feel like I've kind of followed your career and your life.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, I'm not sure. Is it the Lies We Tell is your first, or was it Blue Girl?
It was Blue Girl.
Okay, and that was a short film, or
that was short, yeah.
Okay, so Lies We Tell is your first feature, and I'm watching it going, oh, here's a kid who's doing exactly what independent filmmakers should do, and that's make a movie. And it's very, I assume it was you and your friends, limited camera work. What inspired you to, to not only get into making movies, but to actually force your way through and get one completed? And then we'll talk about, just the evolution of that since then.
Well, Blue Girl was during COVID, so I literally had nothing to do. So it was really born out of boredom. And I think, I don't know, I just thought, let's just make a film. So I did. And yeah, I think I really just learned by doing. I know Blue Girl was not the greatest project overall, but I learned so much, and I think a lot of the biggest lessons do come from failure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and can you? Well, let's talk about, because I think following the films you make, they feel very personal to me.
Yes.
Especially I think I'm going to assume you're a queer actor, LGBT. Can you talk about that in terms of your, the personal nature of your stories and how that has evolved over, I'm looking at least 5 films you've sent to us.
Yes. Well, I would say the first time I really channeled myself into my work was My Name is Mo. And I think people can see that. And I think that's why I think people feel that that's such a step up from my other work. Yeah, I mean, I mainly made it for my parents because they didn't really want to accept that I was struggling. I didn't even know how to articulate that I was struggling, except through art. And so in making that short film, they saw that, and they saw this character that I played who is struggling with an eating disorder. And one of them looked at me and basically said, "That's you." And I said, "Yeah, it is pretty much." And then Fallaway basically came about because I was in college at San Francisco State University for a year. And at the school, I ran into this young man. I don't remember his name because I only spoke to him for a few minutes. But he came up to me and he said, do you want to study the Word of God? And he talked about how he had written gratitude journals And through writing gratitude journals, that God had found a way to make him a heterosexual man. And I was so fascinated by that. It was a conversation I could not get out of my head for many, many months. And then I thought maybe it would be a little self-indulgent. But as my friends started to like the idea and they got really excited about it, I thought, okay, this is something I have to pursue.
Yeah. I mean, I think Fallaway is definitely going to be the most controversial, especially for our audience. But I can tell you, growing up in the 80s, especially as a Christian, you know, I have gay Christian friends, and just to see the struggle that they've had, reminded me a lot of what was going on in Fallaway.
Yeah. I mean, I do want to be clear that this is not at all how I perceive Christianity. This is much more of a cult than a real Christian church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the church being portrayed in the film.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. You made the first film we talked about, The Lies We Told, to now. I mean, where are you at on your filmmaking journey? And what are some specific lessons you've learned along the way?
I would say the importance of story, just because a lot of the stuff that I've made was so low budget, and we really had to be scrappy and work with what we had. So not all of them really had access to good gear or like the best team in the world, and we had such a short amount of time to film everything. And what I realized, especially from Fallaway, which is, I think, technically a better film than the others, but it's still not cinematic per se, and I'm aware of that. But I think the people that like it because the story speaks to them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because they...
Oh, so I was going to say, if you go to filmthreat.com,
Yeah,
here's just a montage of some of your reviews. And we do have some comments from our chat, if you'd like to hear them, but
sure.
I want to
Yes.
have people go here. But let's get to the chat questions.
Yeah.
Let me start here.
Oh, you want to?
From Solomon, Saint Solomon. Greetings, Sir Kabir. What was the one film that got you into filmmaking?
The one film that got me into filmmaking.
Yeah, you saw it and said, I want to do this.
Yeah.
I would say for me, La La Land. And then when I saw Moonlight,
mm-hmm.
that was the
ironically one. Yes.
Because Mahershala Ali is so freaking amazing in that film. And Janelle Monáe and Gerald Jerome, just everyone is so fantastic. Even though it's a story that's not similar to mine in a lot of ways, I think that's the true magic of filmmaking is you can see these stories of people who don't live where you live, who don't look like how you look, who don't have your background, and you can relate to them and see yourself through their struggle and their joys and their journey.
So you're saying you didn't deal drugs like in Moonlight? I'm just saying that's in there. Some comments here.
Yeah.
Aro says, putting his films on my watch list. You can look up on Film Thread. Alan has reviewed I think all your
at least half
films.
of them. At least
at least half. And then Jericho Leon, bless you, Kabir. Keep up the work. Kabir, thank you for joining us today on the show.
Yeah,
It's been
I
a
just want to
pleasure.
say, I'm glad you're on. You got to make movies, and with each one you learn and you'll get better, and just keep making movies.
Yeah.
And you've got good taste. If you mention both Moonlight and La La Land, you're gonna win an Oscar someday. I mean, no, look, some of the best filmmakers started like when they were really young. Spielberg made a World War II epic when he was like
With
12
Super
or
8 cameras.
13, the Super 8 camera. M. Night Shyamalan was making movies with a camcorder when he was a kid. So I applaud you, Kabir, and I wish you luck on your journey and appreciate you coming to talk to us today.
Thank you very much. I'm so grateful you had me.
Cool. All right. Take care. Thanks again.
Bye.
Later.
There we go. What? Look, I mean, that's just it. That's just it. It's, people talk all the time about wanting to make a movie. Make your movie.
Yes. And look, there's a lot of filmmakers of all. I want to encourage young people to get started making films. Now, I don't think early in your career that can be your full-time job, but certainly you can get, as I pointed out, both Spielberg, M. Night, among so many others, made little movies as a kid. Tim Burton, who grew up in Burbank, California, made movies when he was very young. There you go. Hey, we've got more films to review, including Mercy, but let's get this soup out of the way. And let's try to, let me read this because Nick Tomato, you have been an all-star today. Thank you so much. I want to read this one because you're going in hot. Nick Tomato, who's a member for 10 of something, says, because the amount of misspellings and typos, I'm just throwing this.
Look, my guess is he's writing this on his iPhone because the iPhone screws around with,
it's so terrible.
With autocorrect like crazy.
It's terrible.
And so I'm gonna guess it's not him, it's his iPhone.
Yes, look, this stream alone has more than Golden Globes and the Oscars. Why? They're all about what's the virtue of signaling this week. Meanwhile, they went to Diddler's parties and to Epstein Island. And Alan and I didn't get the invite.
I know. I wanted to go. Never mind.
Nick, I think there's like 5 people still watching the show.
Yeah.
So for those that have clicked away, that's fine. It's cool.
Understand.
Not every show is going to be a home run, depending on what we're covering. You never know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for Nick Tomato, how Slim Shady and Rihanna and Jennifer Lawrence go to stage and lecture the world about what's right and wrong. Unreal.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't lecture. I mean, I would tell you my experience in life. Oh, so he's Swiss, Nick Tomato.
Yeah. And how about
Nick?
How about lecture through your movies rather than make a movie and then tell us what the lecture was?
Or have a movie that tells a story and then you decide how to feel about it at the end. You decide how you feel about it. Hey, we're not going to review everything. We're going to save good luck for next week. It's not out for.
I know.
First of all, next week is very
Day.
thin. Next week is very thin.
Okay.
But before we review Mercy, I want to tell you about Disney Handcrafted. This is a documentary that I saw in a theater that is about the construction of Disneyland when we used to make things. And the original Disneyland is pure Americana. It's Walt Disney decided he was doing the Walt Disney Show on television. This is like 1955, I believe, the mid 50s.
Before that, because that's when Disneyland opened.
Right. So 54. He documented the entire construction of Disneyland. I have never seen, a lot of the footage was never before seen. And they show this shot. Opening shot is a field. It's dirt and trees. It says, there's a title that comes on 11 months before the opening of Disneyland. You see construction vehicles. They're flattening things out. They're digging holes. It's in color. All the footage is in color. They show them goofing around, the construction guys. Like one of the guys uses like a bulldozer to get an orange for a young woman there. So you see these guys with very little safety equipment. See, they're just hanging on wires. They're sitting there on a pole up high, smoking a cigarette. These are manly men and very diverse, right? They made a point of doing that. And you see this month by month, they take you through the building of Disneyland. This documentary is fantastic. I'm so grateful I got to see it in a theater. You see footage. This is a movie Disney the fact that they're paying such tribute, and you see like each step of the construction. They built things, they constructed things at the actual land in Anaheim, and people thought Disney was crazy. The budget spirals out of control, and it's very much fly on the wall, very much like they're just saying, well, we're doing this and we're doing that. You see Walt Disney give updates of the building of Disneyland on the TV program. They promote the opening day of Disneyland like a big deal. They were going to make it a live show. They were constructing things outside. So Disneyland is like, what, 30 miles, 40 miles south of LA or so?
Is it that far? Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Roughly. And they constructed things like the Tom Sawyer riverboat, or the Mark Twain riverboat was constructed outside LA in pieces and then brought down and then reconstructed and thrown in the wall. I was the whole movie, which is 90 minutes. I had this giant smile on my face. I've never seen this. And the fact that they didn't have a lot of, I would have actually liked to, and I'm sure there's a book about the stats of how they made it. They obviously went over budget. They were building rides and things, and Disney wanted it to be special. He wanted to make the happiest place on earth. And then they show them rehearsing for the 3 days before it opened. They were doing a live show on TV, and they're rehearsing, and there's construction vehicles, and they had an issue with the plumbing, and it's like they had to decide either working, they had to have either working drinking fountains or toilets. And Walt was like, well, we don't want them peeing in the street. We have to get the toilets. So there were no working drinking fountains, but they had like soda you could buy. And when they opened it, they did this live show on TV. Yeah. They had all these tributes. Ronald Reagan is in it. He was there at the opening. Walt Disney was there, and he read this whole like dedication, which was about the greatness of America. Like, I'm sitting here in a movie theater, and by the way, I saw this at AMC Burbank 8, which is in the mall. It was packed. I was like, why is this documentary that's probably going to be on Disney Plus at January 20th? It's on Disney Plus. Okay. But I got to see it in a theater. Why are so many people here seeing this in a theater? Seeing this on the big screen, Alan, I was blown away. Yeah. You have to. I want to hear what you think. Please watch this.
Yeah, I will watch it this weekend.
The ending with all the opening day of Disneyland. Tomorrowland had no rides. It was constructed. They had buildings where rides were going to be. Nothing was working. They showed there are only a few things actually working. The merry-go-round, the teacups. But not only did they document the making of it, they documented the construction. They documented the documenting of it. A guy set up on a tower. This is how forward-thinking Walt Disney is. A guy set up on a tower a thing to do time lapse. That is like you see the time lapse. I love time lapse photography. It's was so fantastic. Cannot recommend this enough. I wish it wasn't only on Disney Plus. It played like in at least the one theater, which is probably why it was packed, but a great documentary. And with the best part about it, it celebrates America and Walt Disney. You know, the crown jewel of what Walt Disney built is Disneyland in Anaheim. It made me want to go to Disneyland again. And when I go to Disneyland, I tend to get caught up in like the stuff no one cares about, like the Tiki Room, or in Frontierland, you can shoot guns still, or the Hall of Presidents, or you go and watch Steamboat Willie. Famously, they didn't talk about this, but Steve Martin worked at the Magic Shop. Alan, as a Disney fan and historian, you are going to love it. Cannot recommend it enough. Get one of those, sign up for Disney Plus for free and watch this stuff.
Yeah.
However, it's really worth it.
I mean, I got to say the best thing about Disney Plus are the documentaries.
Yeah.
Even there's two that Kathleen Kennedy produced with Frank Marshall that are amazing. The Beach Boys and John Williams. The Jim Henson documentary, amazing.
Yeah.
The Avatar, how they made Way of Water, another great documentary. So look, there you go. Disney, you can do one thing right. Ironically, this came out for the 70th anniversary of Disneyland. Sounds amazing. Wish they could have done something better for the Disney Studios 100th anniversary. And all we got was Wish.
This should have been that movie, and it should have gotten a wide theatrical release, but can't recommend it enough. Let's go to your comments. Trish Page, hey, hope you're doing well, Trish. Hope you're doing well. That's guys. That's right. Thank you, Trish, for your support.
The Lone Wolf Club. Sad that Disney got so worse. I'm sure Walt is rotating in his grave. Yeah, his head encased in ice. It just rolled its eyes.
The whole documentary is on YouTube.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
It's on YouTube, folks. We will put a link in the description. It's on YouTube for free. I found it. I'll put it in the private chat.
Let me guess. It'll make more money on YouTube than it will on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's so great. Like guys with cigarettes hanging out of their mouth, manly men, and there is one shot of an Asian family in the movie.
Oh. Now, did they spotlight the women who helped build and construct Disneyland?
And by the way, there are no people that are overweight at all. Everyone is in shape. Anyways, more comments here.
Weird. The Lone Cups. We got that one.
Sorry about that. Sorry, folks.
Balsam Lockdown. I wish they would have stuck with Walt's blueprint for Disney World. That was cool.
I've been to Disney World a couple times. I prefer Disneyland.
Yeah.
There's something about the history, or like it has a rich history. Like
Walt walked down the streets of Disneyland. Walt was all over Disney.
I feel like there's a soul to Disneyland that doesn't exist in Disney World. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's review Mercy, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Let's review Mercy. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that because it opens this week. Alan, Mercy is here. It's Chris Pratt's new movie. Tell me the story of Mercy.
Okay, well, in 2029 Los Angeles, Detective Chris Raven, played by Chris Pratt, wakes up in Mercy Court. He has been arrested for the murder of his wife. And here in Mercy Court, a system that he helped build and create, the character, an AI judge presides over his murder trial. What's going to happen here is he has 90 minutes to go through all the evidence, all the video evidence. He can call people to go to locations to interrogate people, things like that. call witnesses, but he has 90 minutes to prove his innocence. And of course, like all movies like this, he is an innocent man about to be put to death. And so the movie plays out. How is he going to prove his innocence? Because it looks like it's a pretty impossible case. He walks into his ex-wife's home. Later, she is found dead by his daughter discovers the body, and he is drunk and doesn't remember a thing.
And look, I saw this in IMAX 3D. It was the mystery movie on Monday. I will say for the current generation, with phone culture and social media and whatnot, this movie is made for people with ADD. I mean, he sits in this chair, he's strapped to the chair, he can access anything, private messages. There's like nothing. Rebecca Ferguson plays this AI. And my thought is, what are these two really good actors doing in this movie? And the way the 3D is used, you've got like messages coming here, over here. A cop it's slightly in the future. So cops have these like motorcycles that are like drones. They fly on these drone fans that fly them all over LA.
Which is 3 years from now, by the way.
Yeah, 3 years from now. It's on its surface like a taut thriller, and definitely if you've got ADD, I just thought it was incredibly dumb, very predictable, dumb. It's the one good thing, I never looked at my watch because I knew how much time was left because the movie has a timer on it.
Yeah, it's shot in real time.
Coming down from 90.
Yeah.
So, which makes no sense. Why only 90 minutes? You've got 90 minutes to prove your case to an AI that decides whether you live or die. It's very much, this is Temu Minority Report. I did not like, I was annoyed by the movie by the end. The director, his previous work, he's done like, by the way, he was a producer on that awful War of the Worlds movie that everyone has put on their worst of the year list right next to Snow White. I mean, if you want to see some, ADD thriller, throwing stuff, one thing also on the positive, I was never bored. It was nonstop. I just thought the entire premise was dumb and didn't hold up. So I'm only recommending it if, you're looking for something to see this weekend, because it's thin pickings being January. But Alan, what did you think of Mercy?
Yeah, I think I liked it more than you, even though I agree with everything you just said. Movie is by the books. It has plot holes galore.
Yeah.
I kept wondering, well, as an AI, couldn't you just tell that he wasn't innocent based on biometric data? And again, it reminds me of CSI. You're just going through mountains and mountains of evidence, just trying to figure out. It's a mystery. I think that's the engaging part of it. It's a mystery that you are involved in helping to solve or figure out. But yeah, there are dumb things. People in my audience, when I saw it on Monday, were just going, "You got to be kidding me!" With certain lines. This movie might as well have been made in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah,
where you have certain catchphrases that just kind of just make you groan. It certainly got all of that. But look, Chris Pratt, Rebecca Ferguson, easy on the eyes. I think that what got them into this movie was, guess what? We're going to pay you millions of dollars, and all you have to do is act in this chair. Just in this chair. We'll give you all the lines you have to do.
Yeah, I feel like they made this their role in the film. They worked for about a week.
They were safe, and it wasn't strenuous in any way.
You want to be in a movie, but you only have to work for about a week. Although Chris Pratt, to be fair, they show scenes of him. Look, the third act, people were laughing in my theater. Now, I can't say that people weren't entertained. Like I said, I was never bored. And that's something to say for movies today. I was never bored, but this movie is laughable.
Yeah. And quite frankly, it was made for IMAX, and it was made for 3D. And it still looked really cheap.
Yeah, it did.
But again, I'm gonna just classify this as dumb fun. I wouldn't spend a lot of money on it, but if you're interested to see the 3D for the most part worked. I thought there were some cool moments, but I don't know that I would spend $30 to buy a ticket to this movie. Find a matinee or see as cheap as possible. But yeah, it's look, Marvel and Disney Plus could do a whole lot worse.
Let's go to your comments about Mercy. Starting here.
All right. From our buddy Nick, which I believe okay, here we go. When Eminem and Rihanna and Jennifer Lawrence were talking morals on stage, unreal. Meanwhile, 50 Cent and Cat Williams calling it for decades.
Yep.
Rockefeller Plaza. I'm sticking to dry January for movies.
Oh, that's great. Oh my, thank you. That's great.
Wes reviews Minority Report. If Tom Cruise were strapped to the chair the whole time,
for sure.
No Cure for Death. So basically, AI Shawshank Redemption, but it was a pseudo procedural court type movie. Yeah, people like that. I mean, Joseph, AI judge would save us a lot of money.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And the only person who's super chatted us today has another one.
Oh yes. Hey,
Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
Jennifer
Nick.
Lawrence is not a good actress. Why did she go to the position where she now rests? Look up Jennifer Lawrence, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, she may have gotten into that position to get to her current position. She might have gotten into different positions.
I know.
Alan, we have other movies we may save. I think Arco opened this weekend, but it hasn't gone wide. Do you want to talk about Arco, or should we wrap it up?
Let's see.
Because we don't have a lot of movies next week.
Yeah.
And
I have seen Clika and I have seen H is for Hawk.
Well, let's review those. I have not seen those. I'm going to let you take it from here, Alan. So here we go. Let's talk about H is for Hawk.
Okay.
Alan, I haven't seen H is for Hawk. Tell me about H is for Hawk.
So we're just going to build up, if even that. But H is for Hawk is a story. It's based on a true story. Helen McDonald is a Cambridge academic. She is a student at Cambridge. She gets to teach once in a while and is wrecked by the death of her father, Alistair, played by Brendan Gleeson. And basically this movie is about her grieving process and the tough time she's having with it. She was very close to her father. And when he passed, it just left this devastating emptiness and hole in her life. And the one thing she decides to do to fill the emotions is to train a hawk, a goshawk, for example. Goshawks are known to be the most difficult hawk to train. And so she purchases a hawk, brings it to her dorm room and raises it there. And you see kind of so there's a parallel going here where it's her trying to train the hawk and then her grieving the death of her father and how the two kind of interrelate. I think in terms of grieving, the direction this movie goes is that she basically withdraws from life in order to cope with the death of her father, meaning she avoids everybody and everyone. She misses class. She misses classes she's supposed to teach. She misses family gatherings. She almost misses her father's funeral because she is so focused on this hawk and training it that she's just basically disconnected herself from life. And then the hawk aspect of it is because they're so difficult, there's this control that she feels she doesn't have on this hawk. She's constantly fearing that the hawk's just going to fly away and that she's now going to grieve another thing. And so there's a lot of comparisons and stuff. So if you want this kind of mental, emotional treatise on grieving, H is for Hawk might be for you. But look, it's about death and it's about grieving. And that's what this movie is all about. And so, I mean, I guess I enjoyed it. I'm not overly thrilled with the film. You know, I don't think there's fundamentally wrong with it. I think Brendan Gleeson's great, and fortunately, he appears in a good portion of the movie, even though he dies right off the bat. So you know, take it for what it is. It's exactly what it is. It's a British drama about death.
If H is for hawk, then E is for eagle, right?
Yep.
From Solomon.
C is for
Solomon.
cringe.
C is
There's
for
a point
cringe.
where, you know,
Factored existence.
there's a point where the hawk has to learn to feed itself, and that means kill other animals, and she gets called on the table for that one.
One last movie to review today, and we will get next week. Clika. Alan, tell me about Clika, and I guess the date, they moved the date.
From August 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clika is a movie that I had no idea what I was getting into before going in. And yeah, okay, let's just do this. Cheeto is a young aspiring musician growing up in Yuba City, California. He lives his life as a fruit picker, you know, just like everyone else. It's an immigrant town. Everyone picks fruit. That's how they do it. Finds out that his grandfather's home is about to be foreclosed upon. His mother lives there, and she can't pay the bills anymore. She can't work anymore because of an injury. So Cheeto has to kind of take up the slack. And realizing that picking apricots is not going to make enough money, he goes to his uncle, who happens to be a very successful drug trader. But the interesting thing is it's marijuana. So it's completely legal, kind of. You know, you can still get in trouble if you do things wrong, but you know, you remove the specter of, oh, he's delivering illegal drugs. Now it's more about the quantity and how the marijuana is being moved. He becomes a driver for this merchandise. There are rules behind it, like the big one is stay out of Los Angeles. And he becomes very successful, while at the same time, his true passion is music. And I guess the music he's into is Clika, which is, and I know nothing of Clika other than
it's a genre of music.
Yeah, it's Mexican rap, I guess, kind of like.
Okay.
And so you have this story of this artist who is popular and talented in music, but at the same time is making a whole lot of money driving marijuana up and down the coast of California. You know, to a point where not only in a month is he able to pay off the debt on the mortgage, but he then pays off the entire mortgage. Then he starts buying pendants and necklaces, spending a lot of money on himself, on his girl, on his mother. And then the mother ultimately finds out how he got the money, and she kicks him out like he did her brother. So look, pretty standard. Look, I guess there's a lot of really good Clika music in this. I couldn't tell you if it was good or it was bad, but people like it, and I just accept it. Master P is in the movie.
Well, I gotta ask, did you like the movie?
Did I like the movie? I liked it in the fact that I got to learn about a culture I knew nothing about. But the acting, the actors are not great in this movie. The main star, JD, who plays Cheeto, he's very reserved in his acting, and it just feels like it's his first movie, which I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, I saw the trailer for this movie,
yeah,
and I knew I wouldn't like it.
And it's pretty by the books in terms of, you know, a drug runner who just gets in over his head. That's the movie. Like I said, the only real dynamic about it is the drugs he's smuggling is not illegal in California.
Let's go to comments as we wrap up the show today. And thank you. There's a lot of comments, Ollie.
All right. Sons and Shadowcast. Who plays Dorito?
Yeah.
Is it similar to reggaeton? Reggaeton.
Says Jay Blazin.
Yeah. Pepper, Peter, Piper, Pickled. Clika be learning my last nerve. Oh,
Clika
be
no, you gotta
leaning
say
on
it
my
like
last
this.
nerve.
You gotta say, Clika be leaning on my last nerve. Let's say it like that, Alan.
Yeah.
And Nick Tomato coming in hot.
Oh yeah, look it up. Don't believe me. Okay.
He's having a whole conversation that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. He's like, I mean, Nick, we appreciate the super chats, but you want to talk about something that isn't any topic that we brought up today, other than maybe tying into the Oscars. Look it up. Don't believe me. Okay. Jennifer Lawrence, Harvey Weinstein. Yes, there are multiple photos of her with him. She won an Oscar. She probably was cast in movies, and they may or may not have been intimate.
Yeah. But when
Meryl
she
Streep,
won the
Harvey
Oscar,
Weinstein. Prove me
she
wrong.
thanked Harvey Weinstein.
Yes.
Yeah. So
And-
if we were to jump in a time machine back 10 years and we're doing this show, we would have talked about this then.
Yeah, but nearly a lot of people who were involved with Harvey. That is the hypocrisy of Me Too. And Film Threat back in the 90s, when Film Threat was a print magazine, we uncovered this in a story, in a story that we had that was a recurring column called Tales from the Casting Couch. I was even on the news talking about this, believe it or not, with Gloria Allred. I'll show the video one day. I'll have to look.
And
it up.
Geraldo.
And Geraldo did a whole piece on our series of stories. No one said a word, not the trades, not anyone, not even SAG dismissed it. The one thing we did learn was this. There were two things. There were people that were upset with people upset that producers did this. There were two, they were upset that producers would trade sexual favors for advantage, getting parts in roles in movies and TV. The second thing is there were actors that were pissed off at other actors who engaged in this kind of transaction. It was very nuanced when we addressed the story, but then it turned into Me Too. And suddenly all the glad handing and photos with Harvey Weinstein disappeared. It was a favor-based business. It was real. And the trade publications completely ignored it. But there are plenty of clips out there you can find. Nick, you don't have to convince me. I appreciate the super chats.
Yeah, keep sending.
Just give us one big super chat instead of 20 talking about the same thing. I appreciate, seriously, we need the support. It's January. Alan, I don't even know if I can pay Alan this month or Lori. I haven't told you yet. It's a thin month. Alan, your daughter, she's going to have to live on cereal for dinner. Oh. But thanks to Nick is saving us. So thank you, Nick. And I just want to let you know I'm very grateful. But you are absolutely right. And look up Tales from the Casting Couch, Josh Allen Friedman. It was an ongoing column in Film Threat. We exposed this in the early 90s. 20 years before Me Too, Film Threat was writing about this shit. No one fucking cared. No one. And now the whole thing has been used as a way to take power. This is why you watch the live streams. You get me arguing with Alan being unprepared and scrambling, which is always funny. I want a sound effect. We need a sound effect. Find a sound effect that when Alan is trying to I'm not ready, and then he has to get ready to be prepared. I need a sound effect to accompany it. Like something. Alan, you find the research. Find it, Alan. Get the research. Alan, 5 seconds. Alan, it's the red wire. Cut the red. You're not playing along.
Because we've done this bit before.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I love working with Alan. It's always fun. It may not be.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
It is fun. We have fun, but thank you, Nick. You are absolutely correct. And Nick goes on to say, "I wasn't born then. Sorry, sir." No, don't be sorry for anything. Do not be sorry for anything, Nick. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and those are Swiss francs, and I'm looking at the exchange rate. And thank you.
It's not that
please
much.
keep super chatting.
Release the Weinstein Files, Gore.
Yeah, come on, Gore.
There's a good chance this year we're doing a book of a compendium of Film Threat, where you will be able to get every copy of Film Threat ever done digital and a coffee table hardcover book, material unpublished, rare photos. I'm going to write a story for it. It's the history of Film Threat. We're working on it. It's going to take a couple years, but working on it. Wow, a lot of super chats coming in a lot.
Yeah, the nerd far away for 5. Just to say something different. Have you seen the trailer for The Sheep Detectives? I'm cautiously optimistic.
Well, yeah, we did a reaction to it live, and then I don't think we clipped it because we got copyright claimed. Is that true, Lori? Is that true? Yeah. So it's a previous live stream. We did react to it, and thank you, Nerd Far Away. And that movie, it looks like it's more for kids.
Yeah.
I heard the description of the movie. It looked really good. And then I saw the trailer, like, this is for kids.
Well, it should be animated and not.
Yeah, I agree.
And, yeah. And to the makers of The Sheep Detective, you need the publicity.
Yeah.
Stop striking people. Graph Web for 2. In the name of all that is holy, canceled. #cancel Disney Plus.
Cancel Disney Plus, but watch Disney Handcrafted on YouTube. Alan, the link is in the description.
I spend $38.99 a month on Disney Plus.
I do not.
Yeah. And all because of WWE. Aaron Sharman for 2 for the cereal.
Well, at least your daughter won't starve tonight. Thanks to
good.
Aaron and and everyone here is being very generous. At the last, how do we stop the stream?
Pepper Pickled for 2. Nick equals MVP, definitely. Speaking,
Nick is the MVP. Nick Tomato's MVP today. Thank you, Nick. And it's fine. You don't know in the 90s, but I always thought the Hollywood casting couch was like this thing from the past. And when I came to LA, I saw it in action. I heard stories.
Let's just say that it didn't surprise anybody.
Yeah, no one was surprised. Wow, this is super generous.
Yeah, Peter Yannick for 20. Empire Strips Back tours in the UK. I learned about this show from Chris. Thank you. It was mesmerizing.
Oh, Peter, did they have the R2D2 like with the dollars going out of R2D2 and the stripper dancing around? There's no nudity in it. It's like G-strings and bikinis. It's like going to a bikini bar, but it's great. Thank you, Peter. It's an awesome show.
Yeah. Well, my wife still won't let me see it. Jose Taco for $1.99.
I had free tickets, and Alan's wife.
She won't.
She would not let Alan go, but to Alan's credit, he really didn't want to go. Only wanted to go hang out with me.
Yeah. Jose Taco for $1.99. Alan's daughter's cereal and milk fun. Thank you. You better be writing this stuff down. It's a huge cock for 5. Gore, you said that you were a man of your word and you promised us all day. Acolyte season 2. No BS. Is this happening or not? You're taking too long. I agree.
Well, one thing, I've got my Godzilla. Put me full screen. Yeah. I got my Godzilla hammer in this hand, and I got Acolyte figures here.
Still in the box.
It's going to happen. You know what? Everything that takes too long, it's worth waiting for. It's coming to Film Threat Plus. Acolyte season 2
still in the box.
Coming. You are going to see it. Get ready. I've got the figures here. We have to get past our award show. But I love my Godzilla hammer. But thank you. It's huge cock. We just did the Star Trek funeral. We just did. We're award this.
Acolyte came out 2 years ago.
You know what? Something good takes time.
All right. Nick Tomato for 5. I was not born then. I like to support. Also, my point is the hypocrisy. You guys are old. Also, one Swiss franc is about $1.5. I was gonna mention
that's generous, Nick.
Yeah, that is very generous.
We appreciate you. Don't. It's all good, man. It's all good, but that'll be talked about in the book.
Yeah, so you'll get more US dollars from 1 Swiss franc. Tina Guzman 777 for 2. Hi, what did you think of the He-Man movie trailer?
We should do. Wait, Alan. We should do a trailer reaction
Of our trailer reaction.
Should we do it? Should we do a trailer reaction?
Yeah, we should.
Let's do a trailer reaction.
Did we do?
No. Wait. Let's do
Okay.
a trailer. No. Wait. We're gonna do a trailer reaction to this has never been done before. I don't think I've ever heard of this. But
I feel like you're patronizing our super chatters. Low stakes.
Hey, Masters of the Universe is coming. I think in this modern age of taking franchises and rebooting them, I think a lot of people are skittish about what a He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie would be being made today. We've got the trailer here. Let me cue it up and let's take a look. I have some thoughts because there is a controversy over something that is glimpsed briefly in the trailer, but I have information about that. Let's watch it.
All that stuff that only exists in legends and bedtime stories. Talking tigers, spaceships, and magic swords that can make a man as mighty as a god. Where I come from, that stuff is real. Why did you send me away?
I wanted you to be safe. So I sent you to a place I knew that they'd never find you. There's
This obsession with nerd stuff and sword things, not a good look for human resources.
I know it sounds crazy, but that sword is gonna show me the way home.
Sir, you can't do that.
Don't worry. The sword's mine.
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
What am I supposed to do? Take the sword. You protect them.
I have the power!
All right, coming June 5th. I gotta say, I was never a He-Man fan. It just I was
We're
not
too old.
I was not at the age when He-Man came out that I would have been the target demo. So just missed
Good
it.
point.
But of course I'm aware of it, and it's it's in culture, and I'd seen episodes, but this looks like a lot of fun. It looks a lot like Flash Gordon, Flash Gordon, Earthbound, goes to a fantastical place, Mongo. Has anyone ever reacted to their own trailer reaction, Alan?
No, because I was about to say I'm about to make a great point.
Let's watch you. Defeats Ming the Merciless, the big authoritarian dictator that keeps the kingdoms of Mongo fighting amongst each other. This looks very Flash Gordon. I'm told in tone, it's a lot like the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which was a lot of fun. There is controversy over that joke, the he-him joke, and the woman in human resources. I'm told it's completely played as a joke. It's mocking the fact that he's in a dead-end job in the HR department, and he's like a nerd obsessed with swords and all this, kind of related to his background. I think it's fun. It's light. The he-him, I mean, he is he-man, right? So the he-him thing is just, it's when do you make this point?
I know. Well, when you stop talking,
I talked, you know what? I have a critique for, I talk too much.
You do talk too much.
I talk too much. It's played for a goof. And the fact that you
know
even
the
make
the
joke
main comment on your interviews are just ask the question and let them speak.
Is that it? All right, I'm gonna do it. Hey, I listen to feedback. Lori gave me some great feedback the other day, and I almost listened to her. Yeah. Wait, when do you talk?
Well, I think
this is good. This is good.
Wait for us.
Yeah, almost 9 times out of 10, if someone approaches us about, I'd like to write for Film Thread, they're a dude, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong. God, Alan. There's a sameness.
Yeah, you're still talking, Chris.
We really don't know much about
what the hell. No, you got to go the other way.
You would see their pronouns in the little email sign off. I'm trying to find where you talk.
No, you're moving the wrong way. You think there's something I posted yesterday.
Yeah, this is great.
Let's be real. This is an example of people who originally planned not to see this movie, finding reasons not to see a movie they never planned to see.
And you know what? That's what's always funny. That's the best comment, and you made it.
Yep.
Well, I don't think anyone's ever done a trailer reaction to a trailer, their own trailer reaction.
Yeah, why don't they do that?
Consider this another film threat first.
Yeah. We are the first. Yeah. We are the first duo of color. Salazar Joseph for $4.99. Is it true the beginning of Doomsday will feature X-Men destroying Tobey Maguire's universe?
This is what I have heard through a reliable source. Yes,
but it's a rumor.
Yeah. And Nick Tomato.
Look, old man. My point is, no one is listening to those dumbasses. We're literally having to watch. Literally have a watch party to laugh at them. These people are godless demons, man.
I'm telling you, I agree with you. But what am I supposed to do?
No, but
I'm not responsible.
The fact that he's talking about an old topic, and then,
well, the new part of the topic he's talking about is these people are hypocrites for lecturing us, so we laugh at them. The best speech ever at an award show was Ricky Gervais in 2020 when he basically told people, shut up, stop lecturing people, get your award and fuck off. So I'm saying I agree with you, Nick. Just what do you want me to do about it? Like, I guess for me it's old news. It's new to you, but Hollywood actors have always lectured. I think they're lecturing about different things, but the things they would lecture about were widely like, hey, we should support this thing or support that. Now they're very political. Yeah. They picked a side, and that is wrong, in my opinion.
I mean, it's come to the point where I will only vote for the people that Taylor Swift votes for.
Well, I know you're joking, but that's going to wrap it up for us today. Thank you to our mods, Lord Thoth, and on Rumble, Ololique and AD Ellis 24. We appreciate you all. MK Solid in there somewhere. Thanks to Atomic Lori, Glenuccio. Thanks to my friend Alan. I had a lot of fun today.
Yes, I know you did.
What? You didn't have fun?
I didn't prepare notes for one movie.
No, you
There were 8 movies on the list. We reviewed 4, and I got called on the one I didn't prepare the notes.
That's okay. Whatever. So, but that's going to wrap it up for us today. We will see you Monday with Versus. We'll talk Starfleet Academy. Atomic Lori has to pee. Why don't we, please? No, we're good. This was a fun time. We're back next week. There's a lot of big stuff coming up. I can't say anything. You know what? I'll give it up. Wednesday, we're talking about the Pendragon cycle, and Jeremy Boring will be here live. It's not the longest. It's one of the longest for a regular show. Our Star Trek funeral went over 8 hours. But that's it for us today. We'll be back Monday. Jeremy Boring interview live next week on Wednesday. And we'll be back with more reviews next week, including a bunch of the ones we missed. And Alan, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, let's get out of here.